So I think I'm going to do all my videos here in Humboldt Park. This is me explaining what the Mfecane was in reality. Keep in mind I haven't read about this for a very long time, so I may get some of the facts wrong. And when I do, I will post the corrections. But shortly before the arrival of Europeans in southern Africa, the time called the Mfecane was when the mode of warfare changed. And the gist was that all the various groups, ethnic groups there, used to, their form of warfare was somewhat ceremonial. Not that there weren't casualties and it couldn't be bloody, but most of the time it was kind of this traditional sort of thing where two armies would line up. They were armed with spears. One side would throw their spears, the other side would throw their spears, and that was kind of it. You know, that was kind of how it went. And so it wasn't super bloody. But then there was this gentleman who was the leader of the Zulu named Chaka, and he came up with a different sort of method, let's just say, which was that the throwing of the spear was done away with, and it was replaced with a stabbing spear. And it was actually, if I recall correctly, it was like a death penalty offense to not have your spear, to have thrown it. So what happened was they would line up against the other army would throw their weapons, and then the Zulu would charge and slaughter them because they were now unarmed. And it didn't take long for other groups to adopt the tactic because it was self-preservation. And so that was what the Mfecane was, and it means time of troubles because it led to a lot of dislocation in the area. And even worse, when the Europeans arrived there, some areas had been kind of depopulated. People had fled or whatever because of the warfare, and so the Europeans came in and used this excuse for centuries that, oh well, there was nobody here when we got here, which is absolute bullshit. And they even probably knew it at the time, but it was an excuse that they used. And so that was what the Mfecane was, and how it inspired the idea. That story stuck in my head, but as I tried to kind of reconstruct that on a grand scale, an intergalactic scale as it were, it didn't really work. And I just never really, it sounded too much like other things that had been done ad nauseum, so I stopped doing that.